I want to bring in now my next guest to talk about the next steps in this case, trial attorney Donte Mills. Donte, you talk about all the money that was lost to the victims in this case. I mean, the murders were horrific, but upwards of $8 million that he stole from clients he's admitted to doing. How do you even recoup that money at this point, legally speaking?
It's going to be tough because his fortune is gone from what we understand. Most of it spent on legal fees. And there were some other debts that were paid back and some lawsuits that he had to pay back. The interesting thing here, and I think it's very, very important to note, if he's pleading guilty, which his attorney just said, to all of the around 100 remaining financial cases, I'm interested to see what the terms of that guilty plea is. Because imagine, if he pleads guilty and say gets 46 months or something like that, for those charges, you may think, well, what difference does it make? Because he's facing serving two life sentences. Well, there's an appeal, and that appeal involves jury tampering, which is very serious. So if he wins that appeal, but pleads guilty to these over 100 financial charges to a very light sentence because they believe he's facing or serving two life sentences, so he pleads to a very light sentence on those financial crimes, but then turns around and wins those murder cases. It can be a situation where all of this is resolved and he only has to serve a couple of years in jail. That situation could be likely depending on the terms of this plea deal that he's taking. There's reason for the state to do it. You don't want to have to waste the court's time and try him for all 100 of these cases. It would take a ton of money. It will take a ton of time. So you want to accept the plea deal, but what are those terms? That's what I'm interested in knowing.
You know, and I mentioned a moment ago, if we do see a second trial in this case, he had the arrogance as an attorney with his experience, and he believed in his innocence to take the stand in his first trial. If you're his attorneys and you're preparing for a second murder trial, if it comes to that, what do you think that conversation will entail, and how ultimately, for a guy like this, whose life might again be on the line, how he proceeds?
What I would do, and I'm certain his attorneys did this already, I'm having conversations with those jurors because that's legal. After the trial is over, you can speak to jurors. I'm sure that's where they got the information from, that they were told something by the court clerk. In those conversations, I'm saying, hey, what worked, what didn't? What made you believe he was guilty? What raised questions in your mind? And based on those responses, that's how I'm approaching the second trial if it happens. So if the jurors that I talked to said when he took the stand it was bad for him, I'm not putting him on the stand. If the jurors I talked to said, well, his testimony was actually pretty good, but I'm following that and taking those instructions and those ideas from them and incorporating that into any potential second trial.
It's my understanding, Donte, the AG's office has yet to respond on the motion for a new trial. They had 10 or so days to do so once the motion was filed last week. At what point do we expect to know more about that portion of this web of a case?
I'm certain that they're following up to see if these allegations are true. I, in fact, just had a case where I had a jury verdict overturned for a similar reason. So it happens. And if the AG's office is conducting those interviews to see if this actually happened and they see it did, I don't know how strong their reply can be, because they have to believe that fairness is required in these trials. So I think the time that it's taking them, that's them doing their due diligence.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.